All right, doctor. We'll be starting right now. All right. So apologies for the late start, everyone. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome you all to this session of the Youth for Peace webinar series in discussing gender-based violence. Um, I'd like to start off by saying it has become increasingly important to navigate the very sensitive landscape of gender-based violence, as many voices today are go unheard. And I feel like today's topic will discuss that very aspect in stigma and certain narratives that come out of these victims and how victims are viewed as a whole is kind of the direction of today's topic. And I feel like that is a really imperative area that we need to analyze for today. I'm Ravit Yelagadra, and I'm thrilled to be moderating today's session and taking this journey with you all on our topic, ending the stigma and shifting social attitudes towards survivors. Before moving on to this very interesting topic, I'd like to give you all a quick introduction about the IYAP cause, or the International Youth Alliance for Peace spirit. At the IYAP, we're a youth-focused, volunteer-driven organization that brings together young people from across South Asia to promote peace, inclusion, and sustainability. And each year, we launch a sort of dialogue series, whether it's webinars or panel discussions or any other form of discussion. We utilize this platform to create somewhat of an area for experts, leaders, and youth to discuss ideas and kind of learn from each other, somewhat of an interesting network and a way to learn much better about topics such as gender-based violence, or GBV. Up to date, we've held over 300 discussions, and today's discussion is a part of this vastly ongoing series. So do tune in for the next session as well. So with that being said, the topic for this session is one that is immensely important, as I said, for the fight against gender-based violence. Navigating stigma and social attitudes towards victims. In that area, we may find the importance of the health sector initiatives and much more, especially because this topic is so vast and so deeply indented in Sri Lanka as well, especially as a country that has a lot of background and issues regarding this area as well. So as of right now, as you might have seen or might know from the posters as well, we're live on our YouTube channel, IYAP Official. And I'd like to extend a special welcome to our participants joining us live, as well as the registered attendees from across platforms. And to you, our amazing audience that have attended in the meeting today and are here, please feel free to ask questions in the chat area. But we do ask that while the speaker's presentation is going on, you do keep your mics muted for the speaker segment. So adding on, I want to extend a heartfelt welcome to our distinguished guest. We are thrilled to have you join us today for this momentous occasion. Doctor, your diverse expertise and insights will greatly enhance our understanding of this vital topic to many advocates and aspiring activists for years to come. I'd also like to say that before we move on, the agenda for today is one that is, the plan for the session today is one that is very well thought and would interest all of you who are attending. After this introduction, we'll be having the speaker give us a 10 to 15 minute or 20-minute sort of presentation where they'll be discussing the topic and very interesting aspects of the topic as well. And after that, we'll be moving on to a 10 to 15-minute Q&A session from the moderator to the speaker, where we'll also be concluding with opening the floor for the audience for questions So do ask questions during the Q&A session. And we'll try to pick as many questions as possible to for the audience to be very clear on the topic. And before concluding, we'll also be giving closing remarks, and we'll also talk. We'll also be taking a commemorative group photo to somewhat remember this learning session with all of our dear guests and the speaker as well. So without further ado, I'd also like to give a brief introduction of the guest panel. Dr. Priyangri Amarabandu is a histopathologist at the National Cancer Institute, Maragama at Apeksha Hospital, and was a consultant histopathologist of the Genomics Lab of the National Cancer Institute, Maragama, Sri Lanka. She has extensive knowledge in her field and is passionate about developing her field of service in the country and introducing new technologies into pathology. As an individual, invaluable speaker for this very nuanced topic, Doctor, we are honored to have you in our session today. Without further ado, I will now hand over the floor to our honorable speaker. Doctor, the floor is yours.
Thanks, Ravit, for giving a comprehensive but very appropriate introduction of myself. And yes, I'm a doctor. I'm a consultant pathologist, and some of those who have joined, I know them by name. And good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. And I thank this opportunity to thank the IYAP, that's the International Youth Alliance for Peace. We were starting, I want to show how I joined this, because I myself being a consultant and working in the National Cancer Institute, how I joined this. Actually, it's Charlie, who's the Assistant Research Analyst of Institute of National Security Studies of Ministry of Defense. She was one day, when she was chatting, she was asking me, Madam, shall I give your name to this IYAP? My first question was, is it politically motivated? Are there any political clowns? Is it related to the current Minister of Defense? She 100% assured me that it's not. Then I said, if it's definitely going to be a social service, it's okay to give my contact details to this IYAP. Now I feel it's good, as I'm kind of to know the topic, that I feel good that she wanted to introduce myself to you. And today the topic is empowering marginalized voices, gender-based violences in vulnerable communities. Yes, the topic is about basically focusing on the gender-based violence in vulnerable communities. But I told Ravit that I want to topic just a little bit of a change of the topic. What it is, it's empowering victimized voices. Actually, I'm talking about these victimized people. And first of all, I was thinking also, why me? Why I was selected for this? What's there for me to give my contribution? When Charani was asking, why me? If it is not politically motivated, if not political clowns are involved, why me? Because I'm a pathologist, which is totally unrelated to this victimized. When it came to my mind, my goodness, I was the chairperson of the National Dangerous Drug Control Board under the Ministry of Defense, which was chaired by the Defense Secretary, former Defense Secretary General Kamal Ratna. And I thought, my goodness, I have a lot of things to be conveyed to these people. I know what I'm going to tell you. You've never thought of it. But there are people, those who have been in this community, in this group, those who have worked with me, those who have been in par with me. I have seen certain names, sort of Darshan and Father Totavata. I can see the names, but I don't see the others' names because I am somehow associated, introduced themselves with surnames and all. So today I'm going to talk about this actually special community, special group of people. It's not all the drug addicts, it's not all the drug problem I'm going to talk. I'm going to talk about only the tip of the iceberg of the problem. I'm going to talk about the victimized females, how these females are victimized. They can be victimized wives or the daughters of drug addicted husbands and fathers. And also I'm going to focus the attention on the drug addicted females. The third part is female drug addiction during pregnancy. So I'll go one by one. How, why it was, yes, why I wanted to address. Now, before starting, I don't have PowerPoint presentations because I'm talking out of my emotions and out of my experiences and out of my knowledge gathered during the 18 months of short history I shared. Okay? Yes. I can ask questions. I can ask. Somebody can mute, unmute. For once, I will ask. After that, I will ask you, what's violence? What's violence? Because the term violence is one of the main points of this topics. What's violence? Anybody can tell me whatever, how they feel the violence. What's violence? Anyone can unmute the microscope and
Anything
tell
that harms another person, ma'am?
any person who has joined. A single person, only for a single person I am giving because I have only about 40 minutes for the discussion, for the topic. Yeah, apparently there are nobody is going to give any definitions of violence. Actually, what's violence? When you browse the internet, you will see there are a lot of definitions for violence. The thing is, myself being a doctor, I always refer for the scientific evidence-based topics. So the scientific definition of violence is declared by the WHO. It is the intentional use of force or power, either threatened or actual or against another person, group, or a community. So it can result in injury, death, psychological harm, maldevelopment, or the deprivation. This deprivation can be emotional, socioeconomic, sexual, psychological. So the WHO definition of violence is a vast area. But having considered this WHO definition, you will realize how relevant my group is. Okay, so and also this violence can be targeted as well as indiscriminate. So today I'm talking about this special group, targeted group, the victimized females of drug addicts, spouses of fathers, or the victimized drug addicted females and drug addict, antenatal pregnant mothers. Yes. Yes. And females affected. Of course, females are affected. Of course, females are affected. The data is so less. Now I'm obtaining the data from the published data in the web by the 2022 from January to October on the website of the National Dangerous Drug Control Board. But when it comes to gender, this is its 99.6 are males, but 0.4% are the females. Actually, I don't believe because these data are formal data which are mostly obtained by the law enforcement agencies or the treatment centers. So the female drug addiction problem is underrated. It's much more than this. Okay, from that point onwards, there is gender-based violence. Female addiction is not addressed statistically. It is not addressed statistically. So the real scenario is not in the web. Not in the web, in the DCP web, not in the Sri Lankan websites. So it is underrated. From there onwards, there is a discrimination, there is a violence against this female vulnerable group. Yes. So I'm not going to offend anyone. Okay, so no hard feelings. Yes. So what does this illicit drugs do? It jeopardizes the health and also welfare of the people, and it's threatened to the stability of the population, country, and society. And also it will also be threat to the socio-economic development and it's bound with crime development, and drug dependence is often exacerbated by the low socioeconomic development and the low socioeconomic countries. The social consequences are related to family and community. I strongly believe for a happy social life, for a happy society, a mom should be happy. Happy mom is the cornerstone of a happy society. So how come a mom be happy if if she is victimized by a drug addict spouse or the drug addict father? Remember, the daughter is the bud of the mother. One day, the daughter becomes a mother, daughter becomes a lady. The child, if a child is traumatized by a drug addicted father, what more the society? How can we say the society is safe for the elders, children? Yes. So I'm talking about the wife. I'm starting with the wife of a victimized family. How this wife is battered? Do you think all the wives are happy to send their spouses and happy to address their problem of drug addiction husband? No. Upon my experiences and the stories, thousands of stories I've heard from the female spouses, wives, and moms, they are not happy. One of the main things of the drug addiction issue is how you control the drug addiction. It should be either preventive, it should be either treatment. Prevention. As a doctor, I always believe the prevention is always better than cure. But now I'm talking about the victimized wives and moms and daughters of the fathers. The father should be rehabilitated. If the wife allowing the husband to be the rehabilitated? No, not all the wives want to get their husbands rehabilitated. It's the very pathetic situation. It's very pathetic. Do you know the reason? Most of the time, the husband is the breadwinner of the family. Is the breadwinner of the family. If this husband is being sent to a rehabilitation center, who is going to feed this mom? Who is going to feed this wife? Who is going to look after this family? This entire family is deprived. So no caretaker. So even if the thousands of episodes of battered wives, thousands of domestic violences among her, thousands of assaults, this wife is still happy to be within the domestic community with that drug addicted father, because the deprivation of father's role, within inverted commas, I'm calling that role, within that father's role, still that wife feels safe to a certain extent. You know, when does the wife want to get the husband rehabilitated? It's the main. Suppose I'm going to tell you a story. The husband gives 5,000, earns, I think 5,000. I'll start by saying 5,000 per day. Then husband uses 2 or 3,000 for the drug addiction, and the rest he gives for the family. And then wife is happy actually, because wife is getting somewhat of either 2 or 3,000 for the day. So wife is happy. But when the addiction becomes so severe, the husband uses to spend entire 5,000 rupees on the wife thinks of the send in the husband for the rehabilitation. By the time the wife, by the time wife is sending the rehab for the rehabilitation, the entire brain is damaged. Now he is addicted. It's so difficult to get him into the recovery within 3 months. Actually, I don't know whether the things have been changed. Initially, that we were planning to rehabilitate these victimized drug addicts for 3 months, because remember, it is free of charge. The NDDCB has centers. For centers, they don't charge. So they were initially limited for the 3 months. So 3 months is not adequate, but for the complete rehabilitation, because the brain changes also starts only to recover only after 6 weeks after an injury. So only another 6 weeks only the patient is being rehabilitated. So because of these financial constraints, we have limited. Actual other countries usually they rehabilitate for more than 6 months because of our financial constraints we have. So within that 3 months, we are sending that husband again to the community. The same community we are sending, same community. Remember, when he's been released, there are drug traffickers and underworld people are waiting again to pick him up. He's again going to the same community, and again it's a loop. Husband is abusing the wife. To a certain extent, they will. So there, I think these NDDCB people will know that recidivism is a big problem because that husband is being sent to the same community, same environment, because and partially rehabilitated. So again, going this loop is being going on. So how can we help these victimized females? Why can't we empower these females financially? One thing is we can empower in this female oriented economy. I can't have in family. What is there? What's there? What's there? One is we are not incorporating all the stakeholders into this problem. We are not asking all the entire community to address. We don't invite. We invite only to the family members and only to the staff of the National Dangerous Drug Control Board and very few of the people those who are involved in the rehabilitation, long-term rehabilitation. Who are these long-term rehabilitation people? Why we are not incorporating into that? Why we are not incorporating? Actually, when it comes to drug addiction, it's multifaceted, conjoint effect. Who are the stakeholders? Health sector, including the Ministry of Health, Regional Director of Health Service, Provincial Director of Health Service, and public health midwives, public health nursing sisters, public health inspectors. Are we including into that female patient, female victim? No. And the preventive education partners and treatment and rehabilitation centers, non-governmental organization, civil society, law enforcement agencies, all governmental agencies such as Child Protection Authority and Children and Female Welfare Society and Female the ministry. Now there is a separate ministry. Are we including them? And are we having meetings? Are we having a circle with these female victimized wives or moms or the daughters? No. I'm very sad to say I'm not offending anybody. This is not an offensive talk. I'm just an eye-opening talk. We are just treating the husband. We are marginalizing and we are depriving that mother, wife, daughter. So how can we expect? How can we expect such from? So there are a lot of drawbacks. First of all, we must financially empower the female. We must give them the chances of self-empowerment, and we should have a job bank for the female as well as the drug addict husband. We should take the drug addict out of that environment. Suppose now the drug addict environment, we are removing from the drug addict environment. We have to give them the responsibility away from this domestic environment. Then what happens to social stigmatization of this mother? The social stigmatization. What the society, the labels, what they say is so-and-so's husband is a drug addict, has been sent away. So there is no ethics. We don't think about the ethical considerations, the stigmatization. We don't maintain the confidentiality of this. We don't maintain the confidentiality of this family. It's while being opening, while we are in the circle, still that circle should be closed community. We are only within that family and the stakeholders. We are breaching that. So that's why I say these moms, wives are helpless. I will tell you one story. It's very pathetic. And I was the chairperson of the National Dangerous Drug Control Board. One mother came with two kids. One kid was 8 years and the other kid was actually about 5 or 4 years. The husband was in a center of the National Dangerous Drug Control Board. I'm not going to open where the center is. That wife came, actually it was about 1 week after, no, so about 10 days after the admission of that husband to the center, and came because if the, I don't know now the rules and regulations, those days if they want to go before the 3 months, they wanted to get the approval from me. So to make everything streamlined. So that wife came to me and wife said the patient, wife said the elder one was having the dengue and the child was discharged. So now after the dengue, they have to look after the child. They didn't want to give the leave the child with the mother-in-law, and so that the wife was doing some minor unskilled labor jobs. Now she said she can't go. She said no, she wants to get the husband out of this the treatment and rehabilitation center, so that they will get at least a penny, because you know what she told me? She told me, "Doctor, මට යන්න දෙන්නේ නැත්තම්, මට husband ගෙනල්ලා දෙන්නේ නැත්තම්, මම කැලණිගංගෙන් පැනලා මැරෙනවා." This is the story. This is the story. I said, I asked one in Sinhala, දැන් ගෙනල්ලා මිනිස්සු ගහනවානේ. said මට ගුටි කකා හරි කමන්නේ රුපියල් 1000ක් මට හම්බ වෙනවානේ. ගුටි කකා හරි කමන්නේ මට රුපියල් 1000 හම්බ වෙන. These are very pathetic things. I said, okay, because she was emotionally blackmailing me. So I was thinking that actually not emotional blackmailing. And initially, I felt that what this woman was initially blackmailing me, that she wants her husband to get out of the treatment center, and partially, and actually, I have not started even the treatment and rehabilitation part. So I was thinking, but ultimately, I said, if she commits suicide with the 3 children, what a sin! Huh? Why should this wife and these children commit suicide? Why should they compromise their life? Then I said, okay, I'm on the have a police complaint කරන්න. Police කියන්න මෙන්න මෙයා මෙහෙම කරනවා. Otherwise he said no, doctor මට යන්න බෑ police. She came to know that I am a doctor. doctor මට යන්න බෑ police එකට. මට husband මිනිස්සු මගේ මිනිස්සු මට රුපියල් 1000ක් කර දෙන්නවා. මට මේ මිනිස්සු දුන්නේ නැත්නම් මට සතෙක්වත් නැහැ. මට නිකම්ම මැරෙන්න වෙනවා. I said, okay. Then your problem has to be sorted out. I said, yes. But this is not a single day problem. This is only one story. I think most of them have not heard such stories, this, especially IYAP officials. I don't think they have come across and they have thought of this female drug addiction. This is the current scenario. We are, of course, this NDDCB having outreach officers. They have preventive education and training officers, but there is something wrong somewhere. So I know that outreach services, they do a lot, but they also can do a little only. So because I said always, as I said, we have to go integrated joint program. You have to get the help of all the stakeholders. And also remember, a consultant psychiatrist should be attached to each family. In that case, the wife was depressed. Definitely wife was depressed. That's why I said, she was so desperate, even with so much of better. She showed me that the places where she had bruises, she showed me everything in her body, because I'm a doctor. She said, I'm showing you, and I closed my windows and doors, everything. And I played the doctor role, and she showed all me. So I said, my goodness, how can you? I said, how can you trust there are 2 daughters? How can you say the daughters will not be abused? She said, no, lamai abuse karan deyak nahi, lamai jeevat vela innawa. That is what. So that is the pathetic situation. I'm telling you these. These are the pathetic situations. This is an eye-opening. At the end of my lecture, I want you all to have a good eye-opening. This is the real story, real scenario. Now I am coming to the female drug addicted rehabilitation. This is also not to offend any group, not to offend any person. You know, I was even before becoming before becoming the chairperson of National Dangerous Drug Control Board, I became a member of the director board. This conversation now I'm going to tell you happened even before I myself becoming a member of the director board. You know, there was one center. So as part of my interest, we visited that center, and some top officials also came to that with us, their company. One of the very topmost of the administrative staff was a female. I realized when I went to that center, I knew that there were only males. There were only males. Myself being a female, I was just thinking, and also myself being a consultant, thinking, why not? Aren't there any females in these drug addicts? Is it underrated? And I asked from that topmost lady, and then in single I asked, female rehabilitation එකක් ඔයගොල්ලෝ කරන්නේ නැද්ද? Female drug addicts ලා නැද්ද? Female rehabilitation එකක් කරන්නේ නැද්ද? You know what she said? Madam, මේක හරි කරදරයි female rehabilitation කරන්න. අපි ඒකට ආස නැහැ. ඔය male rehabilitation විතරයි කරන්නේ. My goodness. I was stunned when I heard one of the topmost post of the administrative post, one of the topmost of the design focal point, which is designed to address the drug problem, National Dangerous Drug Control Board. My goodness. And I just keep my mouth cut because I was just a partner, just a visitor for that. Then I became the director board and I was a member and very happy to say when I was appointed by the director as the chairperson of the National Dangerous Drug Control by former Defense Secretary General Kamal Gundathan. By myself being a doctor, he's having a lot of female friends, but he identified my potential as an administrator that I do whatever I want, what is correct and fair for the people, because I have empathy more than sympathy. Okay, I have sympathy and empathy, but I have more sympathy than empathy. I feel there is those who are all involved in this are should have empathy more than sympathy. I'm very happy to say when I wanted the female drug rehabilitation, actually, one of the assistant directors of the research called Darshana and also the late assistant director, scientific research, Pabasara, they both joined their hands with me to start female rehabilitation. And also one of the assistant directors of the treatment and rehabilitation called Roshan. Three of them joined with me to start the female rehabilitation and design one center for female rehabilitation. With so much of difficulties, I reduced the papers. Now I'm showing you that myself being a female, the lot of the staff members were being females, and I had to struggle to start a female rehabilitation center. And to say those people, they were so much cooperative, and also the lot of outreach officers and few of the preventive and education training officers, they helped me for the sustainability to start. I will tell you why I wanted to start this. Now, this is with so much of difficulty I started, and it was a very short-term project. You know why? Why I had to start this female rehabilitation center? You know, I did my internship in now so much of empty brain syndrome, yes, 1998 and 89. And I did my internship as an intern house officer in first half at the Disoisa Maternity Hospital. And once I became a chairperson of the National Dangerous Drug Control Board in 2022, I think maybe 22, yes, 21 and 22. That is from 19, there was a marked difference in the admissions of to the maternal pregnant moms in the same Disoisa Maternity Hospital. I didn't have any experience in the mothers who were drug addicted. We had no such experience. I didn't have any experience in managing newborns with their drug withdrawal. It's very sad to say. Very sad to say. When I was an intern officer, I didn't have. Within that years, between 1998 and 99 to then 2001, 2021, there's a marked difference in the pattern of admissions. Moms, pregnant mothers with drug addiction, newborns born to drug addicted mothers with the withdrawal symptoms. These mothers, we tested at the NDDCB for the scientific research lab, National Narcotic Lab. One mom was heroin, one mom was morphine, one mom was ice, one mom was codeine. My goodness, all the psychoactive substances. To see these babies, definitely the doctors have resuscitated and got the babies to that gas score full. But how do you know their brain function, cognitive function? How do you know whether they are ending up with cerebral palsy? So the entire families was getting affected. So that's one thing. And we made some communities, one group called Perinatal Psychoactive Substance Use Disorder. In that group, there was United Nations of Center for Drug and Crime, and myself, and Child Probation Authority, and welfare societies, Ministry of Health. We had such, and we had case discussions, case scenarios about outreach officers, and they were given the families, they had the family visits together with. And when it came to the rehabilitation, somewhere with a lot of difficulties, we made the Karapati Center, Karapati 1 or 2 rooms for the rehabilitation of the females, and we wanted to have female counselors, and we selected Karapati because it was very just opposite the Unamatuna, and they just opposite the Unamatuna psychiatric ward, and also it was very close to the sexual transmitted disease STD clinics. So that's how, but we could not continue because of the problem of taking care of that newborn. There were a lot of controversies whether to give breast milk or whether not to give breast milk. So we couldn't come to a consensus. Medically, what they say is we should continue the breastfeeding, but others, what they say is no. There was a lot of concerns. So one mother was so much of ended up with depression, so much of depression. So we had to discontinue the treatment and to send back because no one to look after the just in these other pathetic situations. Now, where are we to make this mistakes? Why are we struggling to address these victimized females, daughters, moms, or wives of these drug addicts? Why? One main reason is we are underrating this problem. We are not addressing it. We don't meet the exact statistics. We don't know the real situation. We don't address this. That is one thing. It is underrated. It is very, but very, very tiny tip of the iceberg we have seen. Okay. So to overcome this, there are a lot of many ways to come across. First is we have to identify the focal point addressing this situation, this problem, or the design point to address this. To whom we should call, who are the stakeholders, how we can. And when it comes to the mother's family, we should be closed community, still open to the stakeholders, but should be closed community. Do not stigmatize, please. Do not stigmatize. This is one of the drug addicts' wife. This is one of the drug addicts' father. And also, please do the prevention part. Please do the prevention part to the schools. Not only to the boys' schools, go to the girls' schools. Start prevention from there. Just check how many girls' schools are being conducted. Given the education on the preventive education and training on the potential of, yes, being females being. So these are, I'm talking with a lot of emotions. That's why I'm telling, I don't want any of these PowerPoint presentations. I don't want any of articles. Just wanted to refer certain figures only, that's why. Okay. This is an eye-opening lecture, especially for IYAP, those who have joined here. So don't forget this community. There is gender-based violence for the females, especially of these drug addicts. Okay. So my take-home message, identify the problem, identify the seriousness of the problem, and streamline this treatment and rehabilitation problem, and focus on female rehabilitation. take the advice of and encircle all the stakeholders and upgrade the female independence, financial independence. It should start from the school education. Tell the children, tell the school children, females, why you should financially independent. Why you should, why? The husband is better. Take the children and go out. Now the life is, now this family. I don't think, it's my personal point of view, just because of the family, just because of the social stigmatization, a daughter and mom and wife should not be better. Take the family out. If you are financially independent, only you can come. Take the family out. Take it. Mother should be financially empowered, knowledge-wise empowered, medically empowered, okay, educationally empowered, improve female education, improve financial independence, give health access to all the females. How many of the females of these drug addicted spouses, husbands have been checked for the sexually transmitted disease? Are you conducting such programs to the females of the sexually transmitted, see the female wives of the drug addicted husbands for the sexually transmitted disease? Are you checking for the TB? Are you checking for the multi-drug resistant TBs? So address it in an open forum, have discussions, make some programs, and continue, have constant, consistent programs, discussions, and go with the also do the key performance indexes, check for the key performance indexes, have your own goals, have your own ways of assessing the performance indexes of whether success or not. Okay, how much of their recidivism is there? Have you all been in the same, sent to the same family? The same mom has been admitted to the hospital. Okay, so I don't want to give you all the lectures on the pathology and the chemistry upon this. Yes, there are a lot of people in this dangerous national dangerous drug control group. There are a lot of people, those who are having scientific knowledge, gather with them, talk to them, and start programs. Okay, and it's very difficult to rehabilitate females, the drug addict females, because female chemistry is different, female hormones are different, their metabolism is slow, their addiction level is high, their brain functions are different, so that it's very difficult to, and especially when compared with the males, it's very difficult to come to 100% rehabilitation because of the hormones, because of the XX gene, which we have additionally, so that they have a lot of estrogens, they have big role. That's why even just imagining females' moods differ during the menstruation, pre-menstruation, and even upon the depending on the menstrual cycle, also females' moods are different. And also, best example is menopausal female is different, premenopausal female is even worse, and menstruating females are far better. So that's why even in the same female, the moods differences are there. So that it's very difficult to rehabilitate 100% the addicted females. So start from the prevention, start from the female drug addiction prevention, and empower them with the knowledge and train them, teach them to become financially independent as well as emotionally independent. Okay, I think this is enough. I'm very emotional because I wanted to continue this program. That female rehabilitation was one of my brainchild and one of my dream that I wanted to be successful. I know that it has not been happened. That's why I'm thanking Charani and I'm thanking IYAP for giving me this opportunity. And I thank all, of course, the Secretary of Defense, former Secretary of Defense, General Kamal Gunratne. He identified my potential. He also had the passion to start female rehabilitation. So the stage is to you all to continue with this. And if you have any questions, I think my program is not scientific, it's much more emotional and much more practical. And you all can continue. And this IYAP people, I'm not joining with the National Dangerous Drug Control Board. Now the chair is different. It's a doctor. You all go and join and talk. Yeah, you all can. I think I told you that at the end, you should have a take-home message rather than just listening to why are we having webinars? We are having webinars for a change. Why are we learning? Why are we having continual professional developments? For a change. This change should be, there should be an attitude change of you all, and go for the female rehabilitation, make the happy mom, make a happy family. Definitely then you can have a happy society. Okay?
All right.
This is
Thank you,
my
Doctor.
speech. You all got anything.
Yep. All right, Doctor. So before I start off, I think there's some audience members that want to ask questions. Just give us a second. So we'll have a time open and allocated for audience questions as well. So just give us a moment to get to that segment so we can discuss audience questions. So as somewhat of a follow-up to the very insightful presentation that Dr. Priyank gave, I want to just say, Doctor, thank you so much for sharing that all these experiences, all of these insights and valuable knowledge with everyone here. And truly, like you said, it was a big eye opener. It should be a big eye opener because areas like this in the needs for much discussion, and that is why a lot of very sharp individuals have taken it up and helped you, Doctor, through the process of illuminating on the subject and bettering ideas on it as well. And I really think that in a way and truly, very directly, that drug addiction and all of these issues are very pertinent to the social institutions, especially the family. Like you said in that example as well, it's very powerful how much of an impact it has on the parents, how much of an impact a father who is a drug addict might have on children and the wife, and how so badly these issues affect into the arena of gender-based violence, especially. And I really commend you for bringing all of that out and really sharing instead of more of a presentation. It was a lot of sharing and a lot of information that you brought out. And I really appreciate that you took it in that direction because like you said, it's a really big eye opener. It's a really big eye opener into the direction that issues like this could go forward in. So, Doctor, I'd like to ask about two questions. Seeing that
Yes.
there's also certain time constraints, just to clarify on certain areas. So I heard you mention earlier that ministries should sort of, as a way forward, should sort of include victims as well, and in that area, somewhat of like a governmental perspective. So my question is that in some ways, countrywide policy may not encompass the paradigm of fostering a more supportive society in some ways. What can be learned from our international networks in shaping policy and initiatives and somewhat
Yes.
streamline systematic change?
Yes, yeah. That's very good. Actually, it's only the non-government organizations locally. There are a lot of international egos as well as, yes, international non-governmental organizations and non-profitable organizations which are involved. One is the UNODC, United Nations Office on Drug and Crime, and you of course one is called the Colombo Plan. That is actually one of the institute organization dedicated for the drug addiction, addressing of drug addiction problems. Actually, they have some programs called uh, evidence-based parenting skill programs, because they're going to start the problem since the beginning of parenting. Parenting skills are very important. No? When you are upbringing a good child, only that one man then becomes a good man. Okay, the development of personalities. Likewise, there are such organizations. One is called that. Colombo plan, but I can't remember exactly. Uh, I think those NDDCP people know what it is, because they have certain programs. Actually, when I was there, they did those programs with the UNODC free of charge to Bangladesh. That's also for the what we call it is nothing comes to my mind. That's skill-based parenting or family or something like that. That is parenting skill development. So So actually, I requested when I went to in India for their regional program. I said, why not you all are starting the program in Sri Lanka? Why not on Bangladesh? Because we also families of because my father is in my family. No, you simply can't say that is your father. Then actually, I think they started in Sri Lanka. The thing is, I don't know to what extent they are practicing, and because it's a even the childhood Montessori teachers, they all should be included. Antenatal clinics, the clinics before going to, yes. So like even prenatal clinics, all should be included. And also not forgetting in Sri Lankan scenario, religious centers. They also should be incorporated, which I forgot. Okay. International ones, those. UNODC. And of course, when it comes to the law enforcement of the international agencies are the International Narcotic Control Board. That of course that is something else. They check for the drugs and all and whatever, that's legal. But when it comes to rehabilitation, treatment, prevention, all from there is a United Nations Office of Drug and Crime, so drug UNODC short and parts. Yes, actually I think they and certain institutes such as JICA, they also help. They also have some focal area for the drug addiction, addressing drug addiction. Japan, I think, very scientific, very scientific. And also, what about meditations, yoga, satipasa, those things? So there, when I was the chair, I did certain programs at the satipasa for pregnant moms. That pregnant moms getting addiction. That priest and some programs for the pregnant moms with the help of outreach officers. Yes, so you not to forget the religious centers, temples, churches, corridors, and mosques.
Right. Thank you, Doctor. It is that was very insightful on to exactly how these institutions work out. Internationally, we do have a scope that really has helped us, especially areas in arenas in the UNODC. Now I'd like to move on to a certain area of where definitely you have specialized in, especially as a medical practitioner and someone who's done a lot of medical practice for years on years of research and in this field. I'd like to know how certain policies in the healthcare system may be stigmatized to a certain degree.
Yes, I didn't understand what it is. Hello, hello, hello.
Dismantling this very harmful stigma.
No, there is something went wrong because the screen was stuck. Can you repeat that question?
Apologies. Yeah, sure. So, I just like to add that certain policies in the healthcare system may be stigmatized to a certain degree. So, how far do you agree with that statement? And what role do health
I don't
professionals?
agree. I don't agree. I don't
Yes.
agree because healthcare system does not stigmatize. Myself being a doctor, I'm 100% sure we don't stigmatize and we maintain the ethics. We don't expose. That's why you have a lot of people in the sexual transmitted disease clinics. That's why people open up, and that's why there are medical clinics in Mithuru 7 and others. All are crowded. We don't stigmatize, and we are professional.
Thank you, doctor. That was very insightful, and it's very true to understand that these areas aren't stigmatized. It is very open and it's a very open and
The
understanding.
stigmatization part is stigmatization is by the basically lay people.
Hmm. Truly, doctor.
There is something
Yeah.
somewhere, something wrong somewhere.
Understood, doctor. It is very important that victims themselves understand that these institutions are open for them. Like you made that example earlier of talking about your experience with the mother of three children, I believe it was. It was handled
Yeah.
very great, very amazingly from your team and yourself, doctor. And I believe that that is what most victims will face. They'll face a very welcoming system that really does incorporate them and really tries to protect them. And I feel like that is an area that victims should definitely go for in seek of support and help in very trying times. So, without further ado, if everything is clarified, I'd like to just very quickly, before opening the floor to questions from the audience, we'll be ending the online. Yeah, we'll be finishing the live discussion. Sorry, the live meeting for now.